So when people complain about Ghost Ogre, they are not really happy about the fact that it doesn't negate, it only destroys, but at the same time, they also complain about Effect Veiler because it only negates and doesn't destroy. So now you might be asking, but Yasin, what is the solution to this? And the answer is Cypherm Gear Gamma, but it's not always that simple. Of course, there are pros and cons to everything in life, but the Cypherm engine is no exception. So I will be covering both the negative aspects of that package as well as the positive aspects, which I will be actually covering later on. But before this video starts, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate you in advance. And now let's get right into it. First of all, you have to play the legendary brick, everyone's best friend, which is Cypherm Driver, the worst freaking annoying card to draw. I think if you ever played this hand shop, you would probably understand how insanely frustrating it is to draw the driver. But unfortunately, you kind of have to play it because it has to be either in your hand, deck, or graveyard for the Gamma to legally activate. And on your opponent's end phase, if you use the Gamma on your opponent's turn, both the Gamma and the driver on the field will get banished, and obviously, unless you can recruit back into the deck, your other Gammas will also be dead. And you always have to play more Gammas than drivers, so it's the kind of card where if Gamma gets semi-limited, it's no longer really going to be worth it because you're gonna start seeing the driver way too often compared to the Gamma, and you can't really afford the luxury of seeing really bad cards in your hand every single time. Obviously, since Gamma is so powerful, sometimes you can actually be okay with drawing like 2 Gammas or the Gamma and the driver, but if your deck is not really okay with that, then obviously forget it. And second, you need to control no monsters in order to use the Cypherm Gear Gamma, so it might actually conflict with other hand shops that have similar requirements, such as the Infinite Impermanence. So sometimes you might be forced to use the Imperm first and then the Gamma, even though you wanted to do the opposite, so you might have to commit to worse plays. And finally, Gamma cannot be normal summoned or set, so if you have, let's say, Rite of Aramesia with Gamma, you can't go like Rite and then summon your token, and then normal summon the Gamma, make Needle Fiber, and then play from there. Whereas you would have been able to do that if you had, let's say, Ash, Veiler, or Ogre. Alrighty, enough with the cons, let's get right into the pros now. Obviously, it negates and destroys the monster that you're trying to negate, so in other words, you don't have to be afraid of that monster staying on the field and being used as an extender. And one of the biggest key plays about Gamma is being able to use it on your own turn in order to serve as a huge blowout. So let's just say I'm playing Dragon Link, and I use Chaos Space, discarding whatever, and I Surge the baby dragon, and I get Jeweled on the resolution. If I have Gamma, that's actually going to be huge, because not only is Gamma going to be able to negate the Jewel and Logbird, so it already acts as a call by the grave, but also I summon the Gamma and the driver, so I still was able to resolve the Chaos Space because I negated the Jewel, and as an added bonus, I either have Gamma and Driver to make the Needle Fiber, or make the Chaos Ruler, or Omega to make my opponent lose an extra card, which is like insult to injury. Speaking of Chaos Ruler, this card is really good in punch strategies because you can easily excavate it off of the Chaos Ruler since it is a light attribute. So I think you already guessed it, but Gamma is a monstrosity in combo decks that can apply a lot of pressure on their opponents before even committing to a single monster. So if your spell cards are very powerful and they usually bait Ash and Joel, etc. without even summoning your first monster, then your deck is definitely the kind of deck that can abuse Gamma. In other words, I really recommend playing Gamma if you need a high impact hand shop, as well as, you can afford to, draw multiple Gammas. It's not really the end of the world if you have discard outlet cards, but especially if you can abuse Gamma on your own turn, that's probably the biggest thing about the card. However, the thing that you do have to note is that usually the decks that can afford that luxury are the super consistent and top tier decks. So if you're playing a more casual deck, maybe it's not going to be able to play Gamma as well as the other decks, and you're just going to be capping. So that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. Let me know your thoughts about Gamma in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.